Well, here we are in Virtual Pool 4. It's Christmas Day, and I was away getting my Christmas dinner, so I've missed the start of this match. This is a one-loss side match. If I can get to the bracket, hang on a minute, get that to load. This thing takes so damn long to actually load a page for me. It's a one-loss side match, race to 2 between josemacuen from Spain and Reelpolandpower, but Stub, as we'll call him, from the United States. And they're into the second rack now. Jose won the first one, and I think it's down there in the bracket, just down at the bottom there. I don't see any other matches scheduled for the day, but there's one in a couple of days' time between Romario and Acero, and Bakermaker and 9ball.com have still to arrange their match as well. And well, we'll wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, we'll focus back on this match. Looks like Stubbs up to his old tricks again. Well, we all know, if you watched the last stream, we know what happened to Jose in that last match. But he should be well clear and knowledgeable of what he can do now in Cowboy. And of course, having to make a contribution when you get a chance and keep that contribution's a big part of getting to 90. First of all, and he's missed a carom. Again, he hit that too hard, because if that had hit that one ball, half ball, it was very likely to scratch. So Jose has a lead. And now we see if Stubb can respond. Now he has to obviously win this rack if he's going to stay in the tournament. I'll be back in a little sec. See if I can get this to work. Get my little plug in. So Stubb still trailing by 10 points. And that's actually a nice delicate little carom there, using the angles around the corner of the pocket. Now he's out of line, he's got a problem. Danger of the double kiss if he plays the carom from the 5 to the 1. And he's looking to come across the table, and that's going to miss. And so Stubb is still trailing with Jose back at the table. Now Jose, if he can, should be potting that 5 down the rail if he could, and get it out into the table to really give him a chance of getting a run. He's got an opportunity here with the carom if he can get it sweet. And this visit for Jose Well, why just mute him? Then he doesn't risk getting any warnings. Just mute him. Or I mean, the other thing is Jose has the option of muting him as well. That saves any problem. Good afternoon. Yeah, I was away eating my Christmas dinner. Didn't know this match was set. So at least we're going to get some of it. But this is an important visit for Jose. He needs to keep his focus to try and build up that lead and put the pressure on. But he's missed the carom, and that's let Stubb off the hook there. Now the shoe is on the other foot because Stubb is coming to the table trailing by 23 points, and he wants to be finishing this visit with a lead if he's going to try and get into the caroms first. Now he should just drop that 5 in. Well, that is completely out of shape. That's not the best place to be. He's going to have to play either the 2 rail carom to the 1 off the 5 or a draw from the 5 to the 3. But he sees something different. Yeah, that's not going to get there. And you can see by watching some of these shots that Stubb is not a Cowboy player. There are shots that the pattern that he had there was not the way to keep the run going, and it's playing into Jose's hands, provided Jose can make scores when he's getting in. And he's now got the chance again to build up that lead. Now he should be cutting that 3 down the rail, because the 3 will spot and that will give him an easy carom. He's looking at the 5 again. You've got to try and make your life simple. Now again, it's got to be thin off the 5, either directly to the 1, which is dangerous because you can scratch. If you go to the side rail and come into the 1, you're very unlikely to scratch. That's a shot. That's a much safer shot. And now he's got the pot on the 1. Well, I think you mean his first ever tournament game. Yeah, I must admit, I mean, I don't think he's ever played Cowboy. But then again, when you say that, how come he's got a rating of 2,300? I mean, I'm sure I've played a lot more Cowboy matches than Stubb, yet he's 400 points in front of me. Mind you, I've been playing people where even if I win, I don't get any points off them, because I'm playing guys that are in 2,700 rating, which is crazy. Well, Jose fell into the same trap. If you're ever going to play in any tournament in a game that you're not familiar with, do what I do. Ask if you can do something, if it's in the rules, and find out before you start playing a match. Oh, that's right, I remember you saying that, Tin. I forgot about that. The established rating thing. Well, even that's broken for somebody to be shown that they're 2,300 when they don't even merit it, you know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Stubb is at the table. He's trailing and has to put a score together, but it's asking a lot. But there are ways to do it if you just keep yourself in shape and always give yourself a chance. Should be the 5 to the 3. Looks as if he's going forward here to try and, well, see, that angle is so difficult to read. I don't care how good you are at Cowboy, that angle there to play a force follow on such an angle is so difficult to read. You either get it spot on or you're well away from it. So Stubbs' visit is only 9, and again this time Jose's now got an open table. He's got the pot and the carom, and he's favourite to get to 90. And this is a game where a player like Stubb cannot do what he probably does a lot of times when he's playing 9-ball, is you know, just waiting on the opponent making a mistake, which many people will do, and then he just runs a rack. That's not going to be the case in Cowboy. But that, again, not a great attempt at the carom. And Stubb should be spotting the 5. Easy carom on the 3 and 1. But he wants to get them split up. The problem is he's not going to be scoring a lot from where those balls are, so he has to get them in play. And now he's blocked out. He's got, I don't know whether he can make the force follow here. Yes, he can. Thinking just make it and no more. Stubb 18 points behind. And he's missed the carom. So again, the contribution isn't enough. And surely this time, surely Jose is going to get to 90. That's gone just a wee bit further than needed, but he's got an easy carom to the 5. He wants to actually hit the rail. You see, there's a mistake again there. With that shot, it didn't really give me enough time, but that shot there, you had to go to the rail and get that red. It had to go to the rail to hit the 5. If you go to hit the 5 on the top side, you've got the risk of scratching like he did. So once again, it's a chance thrown away there by not thinking. And this is why when you play the shot, you have to play the right shot. The correct shot was to go to the rail first and come in behind that 5 ball, and it takes out the risk of the scratch. If you play it a gentle weight, you're not going to scratch. If you hit it hard and come off the rail, you can go along the rail into the pocket, but to hit it top side, very high risk of scratching. And once again, Jose's frittering about here, and he's not doing himself any favours. Well, straight away, Stubb has broke down in 12 again, and here's another opportunity. Now, it's always a case of how many opportunities do you really need your opponent to give you to actually capitalise on it. So the lead is 10 points. He's going to struggle for a force follow there. He's going to try and come off the rail into the side of that 1 ball. And too much. There's 2 ways to play that shot. If you pick the right angle on the rail, you can play it with inside. If you get too much, you go away from the 1. If you play it with right English, you straighten the cue ball off the rail into the 1. It's all about reading the angle and deciding exactly the way to play it. So there are opportunities galore here for both players, but both players are just struggling to be consistent. So now the favourite is going to be Stubb to get to 90 and get into the caroms. And now Stubb goes into the lead. And this is a dangerous one, has to be gentle. Now he gets the one on the spot. You should be playing the one, because that way you're going to go over to the right and give yourself a choice of caroms. At least that's the way I would have played it. Again, this has got to be thin. But same again, go to the rail first and come in to the side and behind the one. Well, he's gone direct and played it gentle enough to avoid scratching. So now he's into the caroms. But the 5 ball is now not in a great place. He can get to it from the 3. He looks as if he's again, that needed a lot more spin on it. It's a lot more than you think. So Stubb, his visit ends on 24. He's into the caroms, and this time Jose simply has to get to 90 and start caroming to add the pressure again. Now if he goes forward potting this 5 ball and goes to the top side, he's got a good chance of leaving the 5-1 carom next. So he has to go, well, he's drawn back, and again that's a poor shot. I mean, it doesn't look as if he was thinking of anything in particular there, and it's all about thinking about what you're doing. If he pots the 5, well, the cue ball was there, 5's there. If he pots the 5 and runs through up to that side, he had the carom from the 5 to the 1, not thinking about what he's doing. And really, Jose, having played far more games of Cowboy than his opponent, should be well into the caroms by now. And he's been frittering around, and it's may well going to cost him. And Stubb will be just as good as most people if he gets in close with these balls to be able to just pick off simple caroms. If he's given that chance. Now this time, Jose on 88. Now, simple one to get to 90. Now, these are the ones where you have to stun it. And you see, that's where Jose has got it wrong more than once. In his last match, he keeps drawing the ball, and he's drawing it and spinning it rather than stunning it. The angle's there, you just need to use the angle with the stun. And those are the shots he's getting wrong. He tends to want to try and draw the ball to the object ball rather than stun it. If you have an angle that's there, then all you do is use the angle with stun. And he's wasting simple enough carom shots, and he's stuck on 90, and he's back in again though. Opportunity after opportunity here to get as high up that carom score as he can. Now it's a 3-railer here. That's the shot either off the 1 to the 5 or off the 5 to the 1. If you play the 5 to the 1, you'll get a bigger margin of error. But that's played well. Dangerous to play the 3 to the 1 because you're very likely going to be close to that middle pocket and pot the 3. Which is why he's missed the carom. That was what he was thinking of. And again, Stubb is in. The scores are tied, 92 all in the second rack. Race to 2 in the one lost side, so Stubb is fighting for his survival in the tournament. And he's got the lead. And now the 5 ball is in a good spot here. Well, that's going to scratch. Again, not the shot I would have played. I would have played the 2-in-1 shot there from the 1 ball off there to the 3. And if you miss the 3, you hit the 5. Again, that is a safer shot to play because it gives you a 2-in-1 chance of getting a carom. And Stubb made the glaring mistake there and ended up scratching. But Jose can't take advantage. And now these balls are not lying particularly good, especially for a starter. But the 1 and the 5 are pretty good for 3 rail shots. Stubb looking to follow through off the rail. And the double kiss has blown that one. Now, there's a shot here that Jose can play, and I don't know whether you'll see it at all, but you can bank the 3 up the table that way and spin the cue ball across and get my line straight to try and make the carom. That's a shot, and he's hit it too hard. He had the idea of coming across to the 5, but he got far too much juice into it. And that just missed. Well, it's probably safer. Well, he went for the blast there. And now has he got away with it? Did he actually score there? Yes, he did. Now this has to be gentle. With a bit of inside left to come off the side rail into the 5. Well, he's going behind it. Oh, he's just clipped it. Just clipped it and no more. Well, this is not easy to try and pick the carom. He needed to straighten that cue ball up. It almost got there. Needed a bit of English to straighten the cue ball and keep the line to the 5. And Jose, the old Spanish internet has gone down. Good afternoon, Tam. We're waiting on Jose coming back. Well, the match is on a knife edge. Jose has been a multitude of chances to really ram his advantage home, but just cannot take them. And likewise for Stubb, not being able to be consistent enough. And Jose's back in the room. Stubb at the table, and he's, well, he was going to get lucky there until the 1 scratch, but it now gives Jose his chance once again. He needs to go to the side rail. He can't go to the 5 direct. That's dangerous. Well, he's doing it, and he's hit it full in the face and got it into play. It was risky, but he's got there. Oh, good afternoon, Albie. Well, you know what I'd be doing here, Tam. There's a glaring three-railer on here. You can go the two-railer to the one, or you can go the three-railer, but I'd be going the three-railer. You see, that's the problem with that shot. He's now killed the one ball. But that's a big advantage, though, for Jose, because he has got a 5-point lead. And it's up to Stubb to use his initiative. And Jose is, well, for once he's used the head. He's decided he's got his 3 points, he's going to keep them, and he's just played a safety. And that's one of very, very few rare safety shots that you're going to see. And now Jose has a chance to win this rack and win the match if he can just push that 5 ball through, get onto the 3. Well, he can go thin off the 3 and square it up to the 5, or draw if he wants to, but I think he's going to pot the 3 doing that. But if he plays it thin, he's pushing the 3 up to the top left-hand corner pocket. He looks as if he's going to draw. Yeah, I don't know whether that might have counted or not. No, it hasn't. And let's see if Stubb uses the head here, because he has to score, and he's not going to score with that 1 ball hanging over the pocket. And the other thing is, you have to actually think on your own existence in the tournament, because if he leaves that 1 ball there and Jose gets in, this match is over. So Stubb, he has to pick the right time very soon to get that 1 ball in the pocket and on the spot. All it needs is Jose just to pick out a carom to start with, and it could be all over. But now, well, Stubb has now inadvertently done it. He certainly played the carom, but I doubt very much whether he played the carom in such a way that he knew he was going to pot the 1. And Jose has now sunk the 3. And the 5 ball is not as important. It is for Stubb as far as scoring goes, because he's still trailing by 6 points. Oh yes, he's definitely showing lack of table experience in Cowboy. No doubt about that. Well, the simple shots from the one to the 3, and that shot there was awful. I have not got a clue what he saw there in the shot, but the shot was from the 1 to the 3. There was a big target ball in that right hand corner, the 3 ball, and why he didn't play it, I don't know. And once again, there is a 3-railer on. It's dangerous to mess about from here to try and get to the 5. He's got there though, but all the time that 5 ball is just edging deeper into the pocket, out of play. But he's only trailing by 2 points now. And Jose has a shot. Now, this shot here off the 1 ball, I like to play it with a bit of left-hand English to actually not go to the right rail, but to actually try and come down on the 3 ball. You see, if you go that way and you get it too thick, that's where you end up going to the rail too soon and you spin out past the 3. And another 3-rail shot here for Jose. He could go 2 rails and hit the 3 direct. It's always dangerous, but he could go the 3 rail off the bottom rail as well. And that's going to... Is that going to catch? Yes, it is. Now, Stubb, if he's going to use his head, can use the 5 ball as a safety shot for the 1. But is he going to get that chance? Because Jose now sitting in 99. And Stubb's going to have to get tactical if he's going to preserve his existence. Now, all of these shots now are difficult to read to get the carom. And he could go off the right hand side of the 1. See, Stubb isn't playing the shot, he's trying to go the other way. He's picked it out, but it's asking a lot. The 3-railer was on as well, and now he's knocked a 1 ball safe. Yeah. Far better just to play a safety here. And actually, probably better trying to draw Jose into actually potting that 5. And is Jose going to take the bait? Oh, that could have worked out nice, but look what's happened here. He's ran the 1 to the 3. And Stubb can just get a gentle feather on the 1. And if he keeps him fairly close, yeah, he can get the next one as well. He's not going to pot the 3, it's just going to come off the knuckle. And that'll take him on to 100. And if he hits it very gentle, it's no good. He needs to get the 1 out into play. Well, he's now on 100. Can he skim past that 3 and scratch? I think he can. I think he can. I think the angle's there to do it, just going off the jaw. Is he going to call it? Did he? What pocket did he call? I never seen it. I never saw him call the 1 I thought it was going to play in. Well, he's trying to go across, has he? That's not the shot I would have played. The angle was there to go past the 3. So now Jose has to play safe. Now the 1 ball's wide in the middle of the table. It's not easy to get the carom. He's going to try drawing it, I think, again, when he should be looking to safe the 1. But he's got the carom. And now, a brave shot, but it's going to work out if he can go then off into the middle, this to win the match. And he's way off. And how's his luck? And it could be 1-1 now. Well, this is actually not a bad shot here from Stubb. The reason I say that is if he doesn't hit it too hard, I think he has to hit it to get pace into the ball. And that's an excellent shot. That is a really good outshot there for Stubb. And what it means is he's still in the tournament and it's 1 rack all. And I think that in off into the middle that Jose had was not that difficult. But how many chances did Jose have to actually build up a score in that rack there and kept letting it get away? So Stubb survives. And we're into a decider. And there's been even though I've missed the first rack, the same in Jose's last match, there's been far too many 12s, 13s, 14s scored, and then it's the end of the run. He has to be scoring 20 odds and 30s if he can, to really just build up the score quickly. It immediately puts pressure on your opponent to put a run together. And exactly what we're saying, it's only 4. So, open table for the second shot. Either the pot or the carom will do. Well, I think that's gone a bit pear-shaped, because the 5 is blocked off the 3. He's going to have to thin cut the 1. And now he's got the chance to get... See, he's playing it gentle. Always risky. You could finish on the rail and leave yourself no easy pot. And that was not the shot there. I mean, that's a very difficult cut. And likewise, Stubbs' visit is only 9. It's just developing the same pattern as before. Well, I suppose anybody that can put a run of, say, 30 odd together and keep the points is the favourite to get to 90 in this final rack. But there's not been a lot of evidence that either of them are capable of doing it. I think it would be safe to say that we're not looking at potential Cowboy World Champions here. But as long as there's a one-loss side, and as long as you keep yourself in the tournament, you've still got a chance to improve. And that's the one thing that both of these players will have the chance to do. Yeah, well, I don't think, honestly, Tam, you would be that worried looking at what you've seen here so far. Because the one thing that they aren't doing is scoring. And if you're given the opportunity to just play the game and see the shots, it's going to be easy enough to build up a score fairly quickly and keep it against whoever you're going to play. Of course, you could always blow a gasket and fall apart. That's always likely to happen. Scotland are notorious for snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's something that we excel in. Of course, that's the other thing you don't do, is you don't go into a match thinking, well, this should be a cakewalk, it shouldn't be a problem. And lo and behold, all you end up doing is making decent scores and scratching at the end of each visit, and all the time your opponent's just putting 12, 13, 14 together, and before you know it, he's at 90, he's on the caroms and you're sweating. That is a very, very likely scenario to happen as well. You never take anything for granted. So it's another visit for Stubb, and he's building up a little score here. The run goes to 21. It's going to skim past the 1. And commentators curse, the run has come to an end. So Jose now chasing And at this visit, you come to the table, you look at the score, and you think, well, the objective in this visit is to get rid of the deficit and get a lead. That's what Jose should be thinking. He's 11 points behind, or 12 points behind, whatever it is, and he simply has to be in front when this visit ends. No ifs or buts, it's just not good enough and not scoring enough given the opportunity. He has to be in front. And that's just a straight little stun onto the 3, and needs to get lucky leaving himself a pot. And he's now got a tester straight in 3 ball. But if he just plays this gentle enough, he's got a 3-5 carom to follow. And this will show you if he's thinking about what he's doing. Because the 3's going to obviously spot. He's played it a nice decent weight. But he has to hit that 5 ball either off the rail or directly. Like that, rather than hitting a half ball and scratching. So he's 5 points behind. The pot and the 5. And finish down in the kitchen to give yourself a shot at the 1-5, or come out the kitchen and give yourself a shot at the 1-3. Well, he's trying to hold himself before the kitchen. Well, this can be a draw from the 1 to the 5, or a side rail into the side of the 3. Again, he's gone direct. You see, again, with this shot, I'd be pot. I know, you know, he's potting across the table for the 1, but I'd have been potting the 3 to get them lined up. It gets the 3 back in play up at the end where it should be. And now he's got himself into the lead. Now, can he keep his points? That's the question. A 3-point lead. The run on 20. And now he has the easy carom. And he should be banking that 3 ball off the end rail and into play. He's left himself a pot. And yeah, it should be the 5. He could pot the 1 and play a long carom, but it's always dangerous. Well, this one's long enough. Now, let's see if he can just pick the angle. The angle is there. You don't need any draw or spin or anything on it. You just need to pick the angle. Well, I don't know whether he can see the 5, but it's the 5 ball he should be potting. Unless he plays it gentle to hold for the 1. Now, is that going to give him a shot? I think it is. Well, he's going to have to dig down a wee bit. He just managed to catch the edge of that. It's running a wee bit more loose. For comfort's sake here, he's in 37. A 20-point lead. Five ball is going to be on for the middle pocket. Now this is where you don't get greedy. Very tempting to get greedy and get loose. Now what the hell happened there? What did I miss? Did he play out a sequence or something? Somebody tell me, because I'm busy rattling on here and I've totally... I thought he'd a pot in the 5. Did he play it out of sequence? Ah, Jesus. You see, that's the thing. I mean, we all do it. I mean, how many times do we do it? Just getting totally engrossed in what you're doing. And forgetting about the sequence. Well, the run ends on 37. It's an 11-point lead. And... well, a 9-point lead. And Jose's back at the table. Nothing easy to start with. Well, this looks good for the little force follow. If it's not too straight, that looks okay to me. He could play the force follow. He could play the draw to the 3. I still prefer playing the force follow. That's a better pace to get the 5 and keep it in play. Now you could do the same again, pot the 5 and come across to the left. If he goes topside, he might brush into the 3, but he wants to leave himself over on the left if he can. So, or if he plays it gentle enough, hold it to the right. He has to leave that angle to give him the shot from the 5 to the 1. Once again, you're not doing any English or anything. You're just playing the cut angle off the 5. And that double kiss has just killed the 1 out the game here. Well, there's a shot here to be played. You play the 5 and try and just nudge into the 3. You don't want to get yourself out of shape. Sometimes you have to take that little risk just to keep balls adjacent and keep them in play. See, things are running just a bit loose again. See this shot here, I think you had to be up. You had to be up at the top end of the table. This is dangerous territory, this one. But he's got away with it and hit it on the right side. You always can scratch on those shots. And now there is a problem. It's always been threatening to happen. He's now going to have to dig out a pot. And there's nothing happening in the 5 and 1. It's going to have to be a bank on the 3. Well, is he trying to thin cut that 5? I don't know. I don't know that that's the shot I'd be playing. The 3 looks easier to cut or bank. And again, not the right shot choice. And the run ends on 29. And it's a lead of 38 though. But a lead of 38 could have been easily into the caroms there for Jose. And Stubb is just going to run loose and play shots from what I've seen there. It's a high risk way of playing. And it usually ends in disaster. Yeah. It's only 9. And this time, how many times am I going to say this? This time, surely, Jose is going to get himself to that landmark 90. And a little stop shot for the 5-1 carom. Again, has to be careful. If he hits it half ball, he'll scratch the middle if he has pace on it. But he's got it more or less full in the face. And now he has a thin cut in the 5. Just get that ball into play and get yourself up the table again to give yourself the shot from the 5 to the 1 or the 5 to the 3. Well, you see, again, a half-hearted effort, not the right shot. With that shot there, it's so obvious to pot the 5 along the rail, get the cue ball, you know, going maybe that direction, and then you can play 5 to 1, or you can dig in and play 5 to 3. You're just not thinking. You know, it might sound like I'm being hypercritical, but when you play a fair bit of the game, you have to be able to see your next shot. And those are basic errors. It's always about seeing where your next shot is coming from, and when you start doing that sort of thing, that's when you start stringing runs together and putting decent scores on the board. And Jose is letting Stubb ever so gradually just dig his way back into this rack. And he's hung the 5. And the 5 ball will take Jose to 90. I think it's about 8 o'clock, is it not? Or 8 o'clock UK time. I might be wrong, I never looked at the time when it started. I just know there's a 9-ball tournament on. But Jose now is on 90. He's missed a carom. He's potted a 5 and he's lost his points. And it's a lifeline for Stubb. Trailing on 62. And now Stubb has no easy carom to follow. He's looking to draw. That's the danger. You can't get the 3 ball out the way. There's always a danger of running into traffic when you start running the cue ball. And Jose, well, I don't know whether he's paying attention, but he's got the easy carom. And the 5 ball goes in. And he's back on 90. And it's all about trying to gather these balls. He should be playing the 3 ball first here. And stop it skidding away. Well, those 2 balls are a big target. Yeah, it was a risky shot to play that. The 3 could have easily dropped in, but he's got away with it. And now he's having to play the draw from the 5 to the 1. Now, if he hits this firm enough, this 5 is going to come around the table. You see, he needed to hit that a lot harder to get the 5 down somewhere near the 3. He's now got another difficult carom to pick out. Even shots like that, you have to be thinking, although you're playing the draw shot and you're a very good favourite to get the carom, you know the 5 ball's going round the table, so you want to hit it hard enough to get it around and get it closer to that 3 ball and try and keep them gathered to be able to score. But Jose's run is on 10, he's on 95, he's working hard. And that's as you go to get the 2 and 1. Oh, now is that going to count? No, it isn't. That's the thing about VP4. You can get very adjacent to a ball and it doesn't even touch it, but you score. And once again, Stubbs went for the old capo shot to get him started. And it gets him a point. But he's trailing by whatever that is, because my basic arithmetic has gone out the window. He's now trailing by 22. Well, right now, Jose is the favourite with a 5-point lead on the caroms. He's still the favourite to win this rack and win the match. But if Stubb can string something to get, well, he's going to be an awkward shot here, whatever he's going to play, because he's right over that 3 ball. And he just has to try and again, he's blasted the 5. A sort of hit and hope shot that you're just going to leave yourself a next shot. That's going to spin around very nicely. Another shot, he's going to have to pick out the 3 rail from the 1 to the side rail on the right hand side. Well, that wasn't the angle. It would have been probably better having a go at the 3 rail to the 5. But Jose has nothing easy, but he can make the angle with spin and get down towards the 1. Just brushed it. And now we're in a similar situation to the last rack, where the 1 has got very near that pocket, and Stubb, well, Stubb left it over the pocket in the last rack. You've got to cover the danger. The only saving grace for Stubb is that Jose's still only in 96. He's not in 98 or 99. Oh, I had my Christmas nosh, well, while this match was on. Right, enjoy your dinner. See you later. And this time, Stubb has got rid of the 1. Oh, he's missed a carom. 3 ball over the corner pocket. Easy carom to start for Jose, but they're not going to be gathered unless he gets pace into it. And he's got a gentle 1 to the 3. Now what's he doing here? No, he's managed to get the draw, but he's in no different position than what he was previous. He's now got a little stun down the rail. He's look at him playing the draw. He's playing the draw again, and this time he's missed it when the little stun was a simpler shot. So once again, Stubb needing the 3 points off the 3 to get him to 90, and now the match is on. It's up for grabs. If Stubb can run 2 or 3 caroms together here, he's got a simple 1 from the 5 to the 1. He really wants to hit the rail first here if he can. Just feather that and hit the rail. That's the safest shot. And now he can go 5 to 3. I would be more inclined to go 3 to 5. And if I miss the 5, I have a chance of getting the 1. Because where he's at now is not as easy now to get a following carom. Delicate off this 5. So simple to misread this shot. It looks so obvious. You see that? He's gone forward rather than trying to play off the edge of the 5. And that's why the run has come to an end. So Stubb is now only 5 points behind. The 1 is still in a dangerous place for the final carom. And lo and behold, Jose's done the old fatal error. Too much power and pushed the 3 into the pocket. And it's given Stubb a good starter. Oh dear. Well, some of these misses in the caroms are fairly basic for a regular cowboy player. And that was one miss there. And it was a good chance for Stubb. And the visit was only one. And now Jose on to 99. Well, surely it's got to be the draw from the 3 to the 5. He's wanting to play the draw from the 5. See, this is going to send us 5 right around the table. At that angle, it's dangerous to come up into this top left-hand corner. Look at the 5 ball. Well, he's got the double hit. That 5 ball was going very dangerous towards the 5 there, that 1 ball. That might count. Yes, it does. It doesn't even look as if it's hit the 1. It just brushed close enough to it within the boundaries of what VP4 allows, and it registers as a score. So Stubb only gets the 1, and Jose, well, this is where you just got to be brave. You play. Yeah, the danger was potting the 1, but he's going to scratch. No, oh yes he is. So I think that's like 2 scratches in a row, is it not? Or very close together. And it's giving Stubb another lifeline. Can't play the 1 because it's in the kitchen off its spot. He should be... I see that shot there. I mean, you have to play the obvious one. You have to get the cue ball over here to play the carom to the 3. He's making life more difficult for himself there, Stubb. And Jose has got the 3 into play. He's on 100. And now, this is the outshot. But this is so difficult to feather the edge of that 1 and scratch. You're always going to get this too thick. This is just a tiny brush off the 1. And he's tried to go through, and he has done. And Stubb, well, he had umpteen chances, as did Jose, but Jose has finally managed to put away the match, and he wins the deciding rack by 2 racks to 1. And he's going to have to get a fair bit more practice in to survive in the tournament, but he survived another round, or his first round on the 1 loss side. And let's see. Well, that's still going to update in a second or two. Well, the bad news is that Jose is now going to be playing Tornado Tam. And, well, if Jose plays like he has done in his first 2 matches, he isn't going to win that match. The bad news for the winner of that match is that they're going to be playing 1-1 the next round on the 1 loss side. If we have a quick look at the winner's side, we'll go from top to bottom. For the round 3 matches, we've got a match that's still to be arranged between Bakermaker and 9ball.com. We've got Romario, who actually, if you look at Romario, I don't think he's played a match yet. Let's double check. Yeah, Romario hasn't actually won a match yet. He got put through in the first round. Both players forfeited, but Romario got through. And Amy didn't turn up, so Romario got through. And now his first match is going to be a big tester against Acero. Acero is pretty good at this game. The danger with Acero is if you let him get to the caroms first, then you're going to be climbing a mountain. And that match has been arranged for the 28th. Vince says, how the hell did that happen? I've just noticed that. What happened to that match? Vin says is forfeited to Interchange X. When did they schedule their match? That's got me confused. But Interchange X is through to round 5. So that's strange, that one. Anyway, the tournament goes on. So until we meet again, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I didn't get in for the first rack, but needs must, it was Christmas dinner time. But until we meet again, we will see you again soon. Thanks for joining.